Oh, yeah.
That would be kind of fun to do on karaoke.
I love all those old songs. Like
Yakety yak. Don't come back.
those are always just, I don't know. There's something about that old, like the old doo-wop and stuff. Like
I like some of that stuff.
yeah, the old,
Doo-wop, doo-wop.
yeah,
Doo-wop, doo-wop.
yeah.
Skippity-bop-bop-a-dop-bop-doo.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I like some of that old stuff. And you know I really dig on is some Ray Charles, man.
Oh yeah.
I was into him even before Ray came out, and then that movie was like, okay, I got to go back and look at some of his other music, and I was like, damn,
That was a pretty good movie too.
it is a good movie.
Ray Charles is a mess around, right?
Yeah,
Everybody's doing a mess around.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
in Planes, Trains, Automobiles.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. When he's
Yeah.
doing the piano.
yeah.
Is that when he's when he almost crashes and he ends up going the wrong way on the?
Yeah,
They're like,
I think that's the same.
oh, we have spirits in here.
Yeah.
That was really weird too, because when that happened, something happened outside. I saw something in the corner of my eye. I don't know, was it that light over there that flickered?
It was just
No,
that
it was
one.
the-
I know
No,
it was that one, but
it
I
was the
saw
lamp in
something
the
over
corner.
here on my right,
Yeah,
out
I
of the
just
corner of
seen
my
that.
eye.
'Tis the season,
Dude, I'm telling you, my house. I don't think my house is haunted, but I don't know. You never know.
Is this an Indian burial ground?
Well-
This area.
Native American burial ground.
Native,
Oh, yes.
Native, yeah. Let's be politically
native.
I
correct
don't
here.
know, man. The spirits are out. It's almost Halloween.
I know, Tori is excited for it. We got a jack-o'-lantern. I think we're actually going to carve the night of Halloween, which we never do. It's always like a week before or something.
Yeah.
But we don't get trick-or-treaters here. So
Yeah, we don't get a whole
I don't
lot.
get
either.
them.
you don't
Yeah.
get a lot either over where you're at, really?
No. We usually go to my cousin's house. Take the
Wow.
girls. Welcome to Culture Copia, the podcast where we discuss all things pop culture, from the movies and games we loved as a kid to new releases and everything in between, and just about anything else that pops in our heads. Rob, Greg, you guys ready?
I'm ready.
Let's do it.
Yeah, so
yeah.
everybody, welcome to the Halloween episode of Culture Copia. We're just going to kind of just get right into it, and it's going to be kind of a casual conversation on it, no particular direction. It'll be interesting in how this thing ends.
No rhyme or reason.
We'll let the spirit take us
Yeah.
where it wants.
I guess they'll flicker the lights again.
Like every night, they're like, hurry up, get on with the episode, fuckers. Like, what the fuck? So,
All right.
so Matt, what does Halloween represent for you?
So many things. I mean, me being a movie guy, a film buff, like horror movies are always a big thing in October for me.
Yeah.
And now that I have kids, it's a whole different thing. Like I love seeing them get excited about any holiday.
Yeah, okay.
And carrying on some old traditions and maybe making some new ones along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Greg?
It represents candy.
Candy? When you think Halloween, you think
I got a
candy?
killer sweet tooth.
Yeah,
so,
Greg has a problem.
Halloween means candy to me.
For me, it means kind of all those things, but it also like represents like the start of the holidays in a sense.
It's definitely the start of fall.
Start of
pretty
fall
much,
things,
like-
and that's
like-
my favorite time of the year anyway.
Yeah, I love fall.
Is this time of year?
Because for us,
I mean, it's a cold,
September,
rainy day right there. This is
September is
my
still
jam.
summer
Yeah.
yeah,
you know.
September is
for us. So yeah, October is usually like, okay, it's fall.
It's like 50 degrees out, something like that, and rainy.
Yeah.
I got the windows open upstairs
Right now? Oh, yeah.
You know,
No, I love it. I
do too.
love the cold weather. I thrive in it.
me too.
Yeah, Greg.
Eh.
Greg
You probably don't like the
I
cold
like
weather.
fall. Like
Yeah.
I don't like the cold weather.
No,
the cold.
He had a little more layers on today than we did.
Yeah,
I noticed.
yeah. I got my flannel on,
Yeah.
long sleeve flannel, my hoodie.
Oh, and not so much Halloween, but like fall in general. Like what does that mean to me?
Yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah,
Hockey.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
So here in St. Louis, it there for a while. September, October represented baseball playoffs. Cardinals baseball.
Yeah.
It represented the Rams starting up.
Yeah.
And hockey starting up.
Yeah.
You know, so they're from like
like
the beginning to the middle of September into October, November was awesome. Just a few years ago when they had the Rams and the Cardinals were in the playoffs and shit, because it was like every weekend or every other day there was something going on.
Tonight is the first game for STL City soccer.
Oh, the playoffs. That's right.
For the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
So now we got that. To look forward to.
I haven't followed them as much as I probably should have. Is it a best of 7 or is it a best of 5? Or is it they play this game and winner moves on?
Is it for a wild card spot? Or is it for actual playoff? I know it.
No, I think they're in the playoffs.
They're in the playoffs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I brought it up, but I really don't know.
Still new.
I was wondering.
Still new to us.
I was like, is it a series?
I think it is. I think it might be a best of 5. Somebody told me, not 7.
I think next year. My buddy's got season tickets. He split season tickets.
Really, I'd love to go. I haven't gone yet.
I haven't gone to one yet either.
Just to experience it.
That's what I'm saying. We were talking about St. Louis having a basketball team. That's another thing that's starting up right now, isn't it? Soon, basketball's starting up soon.
Yeah, it's going right now.
So,
and I love the NBA too.
I'm not a big NBA fan. I've never gotten up basketball.
It takes a back seat to hockey, but
sure.
Yeah, if there's, I weigh them out. Excuse me.
I'm a big hockey fan, but what for basketball for me is this is too back and forth. Mm-hmm. And people can say that about hockey, but I don't think it's as much back and forth as it is with.
Yeah,
for me, it's basketball. Like basketball. It's like it's too high of a score when you're scoring in like the hundreds. And that like you're just constantly just.
But
it comes for me like basketball. It comes down to time.
Yeah,
right.
Well, it really does.
There's also the argument
who gets the
though,
last shot, pretty much.
Sometimes. I don't know. In some ways, I do understand what you're saying. I think with basketball, to your point, I think the beginning of the game might be kind of like, okay, but as it gets closer to the end, it kind of makes it a little more exciting.
Yeah.
Because it could all come down to,
right.
Like you said, it's like you could have a couple seconds left on the clock, and it's like, oh, they got the ball, and they're about
does
to
a Hail Mary for a 3-pointer,
right? It's like they're about to shoot, and they're gonna win this thing anyway, and then next thing you know, boom, shots blocked, intercepted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now you got somebody, like you said.
I tell you what, growing up though, we played a ton of basketball.
Oh yeah,
because there was a couple of us on the street that had a basketball hoop.
Yeah,
and dude, we played basketball a lot, horse or whatever.
Yeah,
well, we did too
around the world.
I think,
and then we'd play little half court, pickup games, whatever they're called. But
maybe it's just I don't know. I guess it seems like in every neighborhood somebody had a basketball hoop. That was us.
Yeah,
that was my house. We had a basketball hoop.
Yeah,
my cousin.
We never did it. Maybe that was one of the reasons why I never got into it.
Maybe. Well, my cousin had hockey goals, and he lived on the same street as me, so we kind of had it covered, man.
Yeah,
and we played everything though. Yeah. We played baseball. I love baseball more.
Well, and growing up in South City,
we played football. We played hockey.
Yeah,
roller hockey.
Well, like if you're playing
soccer,
baseball, or kickball, things like that, you kind of have the perfect setup because like you just pick a corner, like of a city block.
Right.
And then like each corner of the curb is a base.
Yeah.
Right.
It was just kind of like how we had it set up. So we did a lot of kickball, a lot of baseball, things like that.
I remember my mom, I guess from a garage sale, bought like this bag of baseball gear. Had like 10 baseball bats in it.
Yeah,
really?
Like all like gloves and baseballs and stuff. Like, oh, jackpot.
What about you?
Yeah.
What does Halloween mean to you?
Yeah, so I was thinking about that, and it kind of kicks off, fall for me.
Yeah.
And the scary movies, I'll watch scary movies any time of the year.
Yeah.
But it does have this.
That's what I mean.
Special feeling, like it's fall, it's raining outside, it's dark at 6. You know, so we're sitting there in the dark watching a scary movie, and so. yeah, I always have good memories of Halloween growing up as a kid. Different costumes and shit. You know, I would always do. So I don't know.
Yeah, I had some questions I wanted to ask too. Other than like trick or treating and like costume parties and stuff, did you guys have any other like Halloween or fall traditions growing up, or have you started any now, like over the years? And there's a follow up. and what was your favorite, or is your favorite?
So I don't have any like other than trick or treating and all that. Don't really have the out of the norm traditions. Now, what I will say, since Tori and I have been together, one of the things that I like doing is going apple picking over there at Eckert's. In the fall, and we should be getting around that right now. Fuji season. They're my favorite apples.
Fuji's. You and Amy.
Dude,
Amy's like
I don't eat any other apple.
Those Fuji's.
I'm a Granny Smith.
I'm a Granny Smith too, man. Yeah.
I love a Granny Smith.
Yeah, no.
I like the tartness.
See,
I love the tart.
Yeah.
And then there's another one like Red Delicious. I don't like the texture.
No.
So
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah, you gotta.
I like the crispness.
Yeah.
Of that Red Delicious.
You ever had an Anjou pear? Those red pears.
No.
Oh.
Dude, I can't hate on any fruit. I love.
Yeah.
That's
I love
fair.
fruit.
I don't think there's a fruit I don't like.
I don't like cantaloupe.
There's just more. I love cantaloupe.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of cantaloupe.
I can't do cantaloupe.
Yeah,
cantaloupe,
that and honeydew.
Cantaloupe and honeydew
in the same
it's
category
like
for me.
They got to be the perfect ripeness.
Right.
Oh yeah,
because they can be too crunchy, like hard, firm. Like you gotta have a nice soft, juicy. But it's hard to get. Like you buy, especially if you buy like the pre-cut.
Oh yeah.
The honeydew always sucks, and the cantaloupe is usually on the more firm side.
You gotta go to like a farmer's market and get you a real fucking honeydew melon.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like you gotta pick your own.
I'll agree with you on that. Now, if it's in like a fruit salad with like or like you know, like you're biting into that with like a strawberry or something, it's okay.
Maybe, but the honeydew especially. Most of the time, it's just way too hard.
Yeah.
Do you talked about you guys are carving a pumpkin?
Yeah.
Is that something that you usually do?
We did when we got the house, right?
Yeah.
Because we were living in an apartment, you know, and well, maybe we did a couple of times. So living in an apartment, but yeah, that one, and we didn't do that a whole lot as a kid. Now that I think about it, maybe we did.
We carved them,
but it was. Here's do whatever you want. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
The fondest memories I have is like just trick or treating because as a kid, and then when I got older, and then going back to my grandma's house because that's where my grandma lived like 2 blocks away from us, so we would meet there.
Yeah.
And divvy up all the candy and all that.
Oh,
you know, my mom and dad were going through it. So on that, okay.
Yeah.
When you grew up, did your parents inspect your candy?
Not that I remember.
I don't think mine really did.
Your parents didn't go through your candy? My parents went through my candy.
Yeah.
Because back in like the late 70s, one guy I think, was sticking like needles or
razor blades.
But they say a lot of that, like there's no actual proven cases.
There's that one case.
There's I guess that one
case.
Yeah.
So,
and I always thought that was the normal thing.
You always heard that
growing up.
You know, so what I do remember is,
like they would not let us have if anything was out of a wrapper, if the wrapper was like cracked or anything like that. They wouldn't let us.
Okay, yes, and that's what I was gonna say. That I remember, like some houses would give out things that were. Like homemade, they would make like those popcorn balls,
balls, or the candy apples,
right? That they would put in a wrapper or bag themselves. And I do remember my parents like looking at that, like you know, the popcorn ball, the candy apple, like let's cut that open first, you know, and check that out. Yeah. Or like you said, if anything, I guess they would just kind of tell me like, hey, you know, if it's open, just throw it away.
Yeah,
like, you got so much fucking candy.
Yeah, so
yeah, I guess in a way they did.
So there was this like big hysteria over this.
There was,
and it was
there
come
still
to find out,
is.
there still kind of is. and there's really nothing. There's no really serious foundation of, or like there's like one person that they were
like
sure.
Like the proven cases are like very rare.
Very rare.
And especially of like the like the drug ones. Like with the weed gummies and that. Like there's no actual proven
nobody's
cases.
wasting their drugs on kids.
No.
If
you know how much those things are,
I was going to say, if I accidentally threw like a weed gummy in I'd be like, somebody needs to go get that kid because I want that shit back.
I want it back.
Right.
Like that little bag of gummy bears I was going to give you was like 10 cents. That shit, like, can we trade?
Right. Candy's not getting any cheaper though now.
Yeah, that's true.
So
getting bags of like
you
just
would know.
How old were you when you stopped trick or treating? How old were you?
I was, oh man, it was like middle school.
Middle school?
Yeah.
How old are you?
Probably around that age.
12, 12, 13. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I had the added benefit of I didn't have younger siblings, but I had my niece and nephew are 8 and 10 years younger than me, respectively. So right at the time I was getting out of it, they were getting into it, and I would go with my sister and take the kids. And so I'd still dress up. I remember being in like high school dressing as like Ozzy Osbourne and shit.
Okay. You weren't going like trick-or-treating?
But I wasn't going trick-or-treating. But I mean, they're kind of like siblings to me, so they were sweet enough to like share, you know, like, oh, Uncle
I do
Matt,
remember,
you know, like you can have these Sour Patch Kids because I know you like Sour Patch.
Yeah.
I do remember the last time I went out trick-or-treating. And again, that was like 11, 12, 13, somewhere around there. Middle school, 7th, 8th grade, maybe. I dressed as a serial killer. And now this came as a, like, I'm not going to go out.
Yeah.
But then my best friend up the street's like, oh, I'll go.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well,
yeah, if you're gonna
I didn't have a costume in mind, so I just thought of something, and there's an empty cereal box. I'm pretty sure it was Lucky Charms.
Okay.
But either way, it's like, oh, okay, serial killer. So I took the cereal box, and I took a butter knife, because that's the first, and I just put it, and then I taped it into the box, and like markered some blood, and then I put on this like flannel coat or jacket that I had. It looked kind of shady, scrubby, like kind of looking like, you know, it's just kind of looked mean, and I just held that box, but it worked.
Yeah.
And my friend dressed up as Shanae. Yeah, because he had this face down and everything.
Okay.
It was great, this little character that he did. It was kind of loosely based off of the Shanae from the show Martin.
Okay.
Yeah.
But because that was Jamie Foxx, I think, that would do Shanae.
Okay.
Well, I know he did Wanda on A Living Color.
Okay, maybe
Wanda.
Yeah. Okay. Either way, so that's what he went, and I went as that, and we just walked around the neighborhood. Our neighborhood was huge.
Yeah.
So we just, that would take all night to walk all the streets there. But yeah,
Last time
like, what are you, a serial? I'm a serial killer. And like it was a hit. Like it just lasts.
I was like 14, 15, I think maybe.
No, Rob went last year. I saw him.
Yeah.
I was like 4, but the last time I went trick or treating, I dressed up as a girl, and that I should have been doing that my whole life.
Yeah.
Because they're like, you don't even need to. Here, have some candy.
Yeah.
They were like, that is the dopest costume.
Yeah.
Like you're good. And that was before like doing it was like cool, you know?
Yeah.
So do you guys remember most of your costumes?
I do for the most part.
Yeah, I can't remember.
You know, I was just trying to think of what my first costume was because we were talking about.
I think I was a witch.
Costumes.
I think I was a lion.
I'm pretty sure. I think it was Cookie Monster. I think I was something from Sesame Street for sure.
No,
Maybe.
I was a skeleton. I guess the first time. There's home movies of us, as kids.
Yeah.
A lot of Halloween. So I think the very first one I was like a skeleton.
Yeah.
But then I remember a lion, and my brother was a dinosaur, which he hated because it had they were like onesies, kind of, and you pull up the hood.
Yeah.
And mine had like the main lines. My brother, he hated it. He was crying the whole time.
You know, it's funny. We hated those as kids and toddlers, and like now, like as adults, like you see so many people.
That's what they wear,
right?
Because they're like, it's cold outside, it's easy.
Vampire.
Just throw it on real quick, you know.
Vampires.
Some of my best costumes,
vampires, though.
Oh,
I know
was a
we
vampire.
were all at least a vampire.
I was a vampire.
I was a vampire.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was a vampire. I was Jason one year.
Yeah.
That's an easy mask. All you gotta do is go get a Jason mask, and I wore like camouflage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A witch. I was a girl. Some of my best costumes, I have to admit, were, have been when I was an adult, and more so with Tori, because Tori, Halloween is her jam.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like making homemade costumes was like her thing.
Right.
So like the last 12 years, we've always made
I think
our
one
own
of my
costumes, except for this year.
With you guys was one year you were Yzma and Kronk.
Yeah,
That was
that
great.
was just a few years ago. Yeah.
And a while back I remember Poison Ivy and Bane.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
No. Okay.
And
Tori's.
do you remember that? I know you were there.
Yeah.
Tori's Poison Ivy was spot on.
I was gonna say, if you don't, you must have been not sober, because I think I still have dreams about Tori in that Poison Ivy costume.
Her costume was spot on.
Oh,
man.
she was turning heads all night. Yeah. People were like, "What's her deal?" And I was like, "You see that guy, Bane?" They're like, "Oh, okay, I'll just hang out by the punch bowl, I guess."
Yeah, that was. But there again, that's when we really kind of started getting into making our own costumes.
Yeah,
and she
was fun.
she would go. She goes out.
Yeah,
she was Wednesday. We were Wednesday in Pugsley last year.
Nice.
Okay, yeah. Nice. I like that. What about did you have any other traditions?
No,
pumpkin?
I mean, other than just, we carve a pumpkin and...
Did you ever roast the pumpkin seeds? We always did that.
Nah, maybe we tried it one year. I want to say I remember getting a cookie sheet out.
Yeah, we did that. We didn't do it every year, but sometimes we would do it. I remember the first time we did it, my mom burnt the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Like
Mom was always good about doing those kind of like just the generic traditions for the holidays.
I did do that. I had a couple answers. They would do that every once in a while.
Like dyeing Easter eggs. And all.
That was always like my mom's jam too. She was she was like a babysitter, kind of basically ran an unlicensed daycare in our house.
My grandma did that.
Yeah, she would watch, obviously me and like all my cousins and like friends of the family, would like bring their kids over and she would just watch them and they just pay cash and stuff like that.
That's exactly how my grandma did.
But so, I mean,
that's funny. My mom would babysit too. There'd be a couple, like her friends.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when you have all those kids around, it's like you want to do activities for the kids.
Yeah.
And stuff,
so that's what I'm saying. Mom was always good about that. Like, hey, let's do this. Let's do that.
We also, you always, Rob, you said, like more recently, like as an adult, you like to go like apple picking.
Yes.
And do you go like pumpkin picking too? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Actually, as a matter of fact, the one that we got, I was at work, but Tori went with her mom, went to the pumpkin patch and got one.
I was going to say, we've done that. That's been a thing my family does every single year. We already did. We just went like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
The girls had a good time.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a fun experience.
Oh, yeah.
Especially for the kids.
Yeah. Like, so like the holidays for me growing up have always been like just filled with like all those, like you said, like all those traditions, like all the traditional shit that you do.
Right.
My mom always kind of was really into that.
It is
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's fun.
I'd say as far as like fall goes, not even necessarily just Halloween, but like as an adult, I think one of the, I guess you'd call it a tradition that I've picked up is like, this is usually the time of year that I replenish my whiskey cabinet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I start like, just because I guess it's, during the fall and winter, when it's kind of, colder out, there's I don't know, just like a warm whiskey on a.
I'm the same way, but I'm like that with like beer. Like I'm thinking about, with Civil Life being right over here, I'm thinking about going and getting some, some fall beer and stuff.
Some October. Oh, they have the best Oktoberfest.
Oh
my God. I remember the first time I tried it at your old place and I was like, what is this? Yeah, this is so good.
So I guess Halloween for me almost kind of like kicks off fall season. Now for me, it's officially fall, even though it's not officially fall.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It's officially fall.
Is it right now?
September.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
But okay.
But still,
it didn't. When it's 90 degrees outside.
Yeah,
it's hard
and see,
to feel like.
that's why I was saying earlier. For us here in Missouri, St. Louis, like fall really doesn't begin until October. Yeah, like closer to how even the beginning of October can still be pretty warm.
Yeah,
and then that just comes with like hoodies and just
It just feels different. It's definitely like you can tell. Yeah. What about what was your favorite Halloween candy growing up or now? Or what was your least favorite? Favorite and least favorite?
Yeah. My favorite is probably the peanut butter cups. I think they always have been.
Okay.
Reese's peanut butter cups.
Reese's. You ever had Palmer?
Yeah.
Palmer chocolate. Uh-huh. You ever had their peanut butter cups?
Yeah, that's
Palmer. Is that with the bunny?
Yeah, they're better than Reese's in my opinion.
I don't think so.
Ooh,
them's fighting words.
Okay.
Hey,
I think they are. The peanut butter filling stuff is like creamier.
Okay, so that's why I don't like it.
That's why I like it because that like Reese's sometimes that
it's
peanut butter is
a little
dry.
That's why I like that.
You like that?
I do. Yeah, that's what I like about it. Yeah.
You're like my sister. She'll get like a pack of like Peeps. Yeah. And then open them up and leave them on the counter so they get stale.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You like that?
I don't like Peeps at all.
Oh,
well, okay, I say that.
No. She prefers them to be stale.
Yeah, she prefers them to be stale. I've heard of that. Tori will eat the shit out of Peeps. I will eat them if there's like nothing sweet in the house. I'm like, okay, fine.
And you need a fix.
Yeah, I need my sugar fix.
Yeah.
I'll eat one.
That's like last resort for me.
I don't do. Yeah, it is. Like,
but I think even if there's only Peeps, if that's the only thing, like sweet.
Yeah.
And candy I'll be like, you know what?
When I was a kid, candy corn.
I think all three of us are definitely addicted to sugar.
Oh, for sure.
I definitely am. Yeah.
I've known you've been for a long time.
Yeah, I love me some candy.
When I was a kid, though, I used to hate candy corn.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't.
If I was a kid, that would have been that or licorice.
But
now that I'm an adult,
but not black licorice.
I don't do black licorice.
No.
There was something worse than candy corn for me as a kid.
What's
and
that?
I don't know if you guys remember those. I don't even know what they were necessarily. They weren't caramel. They were like a. They were like
you talking about like the orange,
and black wrappers. Yeah, and they were like it's a maple candy.
Yeah, or like some. I think one of them was a toffee.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do know
it was like a taffy.
It was the hard candy.
Yeah, they looked like taffy.
They looked like saltwater taffy.
They did, but they were like usually just like a tan color, but the wrappers were either orange or black.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Like, and even now,
there's no print on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I don't even know who makes
that's
them.
Dollar Tree.
I don't
generic candy.
I don't even know if you can buy those. I think they just
that's what I'm saying.
They show up in your house like around Halloween. Like if you pour other candy in a bowl,
they're coming
like
from the older.
It's
they're
like
coming from the older
bowl.
generation.
Yeah, it's like those. It's like those little like strawberry hard candies.
No,
I love those.
Those are good. My grandma used to have those.
Yeah. Oh yes, my grandma did too.
I do like
love
those.
them.
They had like the soft center.
Nobody buys those little orange and black things. You buy a bag of candy,
that
you pour it in the bowl,
in them.
and those sprout up in the bottom like weeds.
Right.
like a bacteria, like a disease.
A spore got contaminated inside this bag of candy.
They're a form of dark magic.
Yeah.
Like, they really are. Even now, like seeing them pisses me off, and they're not like bad. As an adult, I'll eat them.
Yeah.
But like
they're better than circus peanuts.
Oh, I fucking hate circus peanuts.
Okay, so that'd be one I can't do. I can't do circus peanuts.
We're all on the same page with that.
That's got to be the worst.
I was gonna say that's probably one of the worst. Back in the day though, they used to have like it's a generic. It was like wax nubs or some shit. I don't even know. They were like
I think I know what you're talking.
Like little squares or whatever. I don't remember that. They weren't around very long. Like.
Waxy though?
Yeah,
like,
I forget.
They were not like the soda bottles.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of at first.
Kind of like that, I think. Yeah, okay, the soda bottles.
Yeah, those were, nah.
I think I just liked the
it's like
novelty
chewing on
of
caulk.
it.
Yeah,
you know,
I was under the assumption you couldn't get candy cigarettes anymore.
But you can.
you can find
They're
candy
called
cigarettes.
candy sticks.
Candy sticks.
They can't call them candy cigarettes.
But they're still like.
And they can't package them in a cigarette-like box.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Remember Ben Franklin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd go with you and Amy a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because they had all those kind of
dude,
candies.
they
Yeah,
had
they
the
had the
best
best candy. They did. And
They had all
talking
the
on that,
like good candy, but then they had those like novelty candies and stuff like that. Yeah.
sweet as fish.
They had
I
those,
love me some Swedish fish.
They had those blow pops that like were different flavors that you couldn't get anywhere else. Like you couldn't get them in like the bags of blow pops and stuff. You had to buy them at like a penny candy store, and like get them like one, like one little piece.
Oh
at
yeah,
a time.
just like the oddball flavors.
Yeah, they had like a lime. They had like a few different. They had like a mango one. Like it was like they were blow pops, but you
and
couldn't.
Blow Pop had the Black Label
Yeah,
like series
Really?
that came out when we
I think
were
that's what
in,
the
like,
lime ones were. Was the Black Label. Yeah.
It was like a in your face flavor.
Yeah. Yeah, so the lime was like a sour, like instead of like sour apple. Like I'm not a huge fan of like apple flavored candy. Like I like it, but like if I get like
I've grown more fond of it.
if I get a green candy, I'm like I'd rather it be lime than apple.
Lime Jolly Rancher.
Yeah.
What about
They have those in the tropical packs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
I
peach,
think I'd be reversed
peach
Mm-hmm.
and lemon Jolly Ranchers. Whoo!
Oh yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
That
my
peach, that peach Jolly Rancher is the bomb.
You know what? I have some I need to bring to you because I keep a candy jar on my desk at work and just let people like, go ahead and grab.
Yeah.
And the peach ones are still hanging out because nobody wants them.
They wouldn't if I was still there.
I
They
know,
wouldn't have.
yeah.
Those are the best. Dude, there's a mango
Yeah.
that's
Wow,
good.
Jolly Rancher.
I had
That
some
is
of the,
good.
so when I filled my candy jar, I bought a big bag of the tropical and a big bag of like the assorted fruit, and it was like all those different flavors.
Yeah.
What was your favorite candy
Mm.
growing up?
Now,
Like your trick or treating.
for trick or treating, as a kid, it was pretty much just like I liked the Skittles and the Starbursts.
Okay.
Cause like you really didn't
Fruity.
see Sour Patch. Yeah, I like the fruity candy. Now I do like sour, but you really didn't get the Sour Patch Kids like when I was a kid. Those weren't like a big thing. It was pretty much just your Starburst and Skittles and your Snickers, and I liked the more fruity.
More than you did
fruit,
chocolate.
more than I did the chocolate. Now,
I'm like that too. I always was, and I still am.
Sour Punch straws.
Okay, yeah.
Now,
I like those.
there's the
still
Sour
like
Punch
those.
straws and there's the Sour Punch bites.
Yes.
When I was a kid, like, it was the bites. They didn't have the straws yet, and they were like, they had ridges on them, and they were more tough and chewy.
Yeah. I remember that.
And dude, it was like $1.
You know what?
It was like it was super cheap. So it was like we just walk up the hill from the neighborhood to the drugstore right there, and I had a whole candy aisle. Like, I just gotta grab me 2 or 3 bags of these things. But then they changed them to where now they're smooth, and they're more
they're
chewy.
not the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still love them, but they're not as good. But those were my favorite. Go get a bag of those and Dr. Pepper.
You know what's similar to those, like those old ones, the texture? You ever have that Wiley Wallabies licorice, those little bites? They're similar to the old like Sour Punch bites, but they're not sour. That's the only thing.
Right.
But they've got a decent flavor.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Favorite candy?
Yeah.
Now or then?
Both.
Lemon heads now for sure. I'm a big lemon guy. But I don't know, like you said, to your point, I don't know if they had like, cause like now they have like the little boxes.
Yeah,
of
they
lemon
did.
heads.
Yeah.
Little.
And the little packs of like Sour Patch Kids and stuff. And I always like stuff like that. But when we were kids, I don't remember if they had those then.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they really did.
I remember a lot of chocolate, and I've never been a big chocolate person.
Yeah.
But I think maybe, you know what they did have, I think even then, were those lemon heads that are like the size of a Jawbreaker, those big ones.
You can still get those.
Yeah. And, I've seen them,
Yeah.
and I've had them. I think maybe if they had those then, I think they did. That was probably my favorite.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest? Do you guys remember the weirdest thing you ever got for trick or treating?
I can't remember anything really weird.
Like, who the fuck gives out raisins?
Yeah, you
the little
see
box
that.
of raisins.
See that.
I think I ended up with a box of raisins.
So, everybody.
I'd be all right with that.
What the fuck is this? Who gave me this?
I would have eaten those right up though.
Really?
Yeah,
I do like raisins. I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, I never knew what a Heath bar was until I went trick or treating.
Okay.
Like, what is this?
Yeah, I always steer clear of those.
Yeah,
It just looked like an old person.
Yeah, it does, and it still does.
Well, no,
they haven't
the old
changed that
person,
wrapper.
it's Score.
Score, yeah, and
That's
that
the old
looks
person
old
tone,
too.
yeah.
Those wrappers have not changed in so
Or Werther's Originals. Like, who gives out Werther's Originals?
Yeah.
I
don't
like
know.
those Werther's soft caramels.
Yeah.
No, these are the hard ones. Back when they first
Yeah,
came out, they were the hard ones.
You know, honestly, as a kid, I never liked those popcorn balls.
I never really did. I'm
So-
not a big popcorn.
So when people would give those out, I always thought that was odd.
Yeah.
Like you're asking, like, what's the weirdest thing? I was just like, okay.
Yeah, that would probably be, that was weird. Or sometimes they'd be in like they put them in a glove.
Yeah, so that would be
Oh,
one
yeah,
too.
yeah.
It was a glove, and then they have
So
like the
it'd just be
candy
like a
corn
hand.
at the end for the
Yeah.
fingernails. Yeah, we
You know,
that.
I have to be
Yeah.
honest. We were talking about candy corn. I have never disliked candy corn, and I still like it.
I like
They're
it.
not my favorite, but they're again, if they're
Like
around, I'll eat them.
Like
Tori
people-
gets the pumpkins.
Yeah, dude, those are good.
Oh.
Sometimes it's too much, though.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I
But if
forgot
they're
about those
mixed in,
pumpkins.
because you can get the mix.
Yeah.
Where it's like they're mixed in, like every once in a while you get a little pumpkin and you're like, ooh, a little extra. But I don't know. If people shit on candy corn so much, I'm like, I still like them, man.
Yeah.
I never disliked candy corn.
It's cool to hate.
Yeah.
I do remember some traditions like in school, like because that. So okay, if we're talking
Yeah.
about Halloween,
Yeah.
Halloween in school was the shit, right? You got to dress up in your costume.
Yeah.
It wasn't a normal day.
Right.
Lunch always had some kind of Halloween themed lunch thing
Yeah.
going on.
That's
Yeah.
true.
You got to like do a little trick or treating, and then like they would have like a little Halloween party. I remember that was the first time I remember bobbing for apples and like
Yeah.
realizing that was a holiday, like a Halloween tradition.
Yeah.
And then like apple cider and that kind of stuff. So being in school kind of exposed me some different traditions that I wish we would have done.
That's a good point. Yeah, because I never did like the bobbing for apples thing and stuff like that.
I remember
Unless
the
it was
first time.
school.
Yeah.
It was the first time that I actually went to a Halloween party, and that was like middle school. And this new kid moved into the neighborhood on the other street, just a street over. So he had like a little party in his basement and that, and yeah, that was like the first and pretty much really the only time that I actually like went out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, other than like
Matt's
high school, and
Yeah.
but as a kid, like, yeah, and his mom had like bobbing for apples set up and like
Okay,
a fog
yeah.
machine, and we dressed up. Like, that was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, my cousins used to have like a Halloween party, and they would do like they live out in like Barnhart, like out in the country in the
Yeah.
woods and shit. They would do like
Barnhart.
yeah, you'd hook up a trailer with like bales of hay and do like hay rides for the kids,
Yeah.
like with his riding lawnmower or 4-wheeler or something.
So one of the things that we did start getting into when I got older that I really enjoyed, and I haven't done since Tori and I have been together,
Yeah.
going to a haunted house.
Hey, we've been to a couple.
Yeah, it's been a while, though.
Dude, like when I was a kid, and I don't know if it was because I was a kid or if the haunted houses hit different back then, but I remember going to one, and you brought up Barnhart.
Yeah.
There was one out there a long time ago called Theriaston's Mansion,
Okay.
and you got on a bus, and they drop you off in the middle of the woods, okay, and then you walk through this trail. And you're like, what the fuck? Where are we going? And then it was, I remember it being kind of expensive, right?
Yeah.
So you cross this like covered bridge, and you just know
Yeah.
something's gonna go down, right?
Yeah.
And but my family's large, so when my family got together and did something like this, there was probably 20 or 30 of us.
Yeah.
So we kind of the group kind of gets halfway through, and this dude pops out of left field with a bladeless chainsaw and is chasing people, and then you get into the haunted mansion, and it's just like level after level after level, and it's just scary shit. And then my uncle being the asshole that he is, like, so one of them was like, you went downstairs in the dungeon, they had like a jail, and there was a guy like getting electrocuted in this jail.
Yeah.
And he's like, sparks are flying from his hands, and my uncle's like throwing me up against the jail cell, like, go get you some, Rob, come on, don't be scared. And I'm like, no, don't. So that was one of the things we did when I, older. But my brother, oh my God, we went in, and this is out in Jefferson County somewhere. Haunted House on the Hill, I think is what that was called. And one of the first things when you walked in, you hit like a pressure plate, and like air would like shoot at your feet.
Okay.
Scared my brother so bad.
Yeah.
He bolted out the front door. And to this day, I don't think he's ever gone into a haunted house.
Back into a haunted house?
Yeah.
We went, do you remember the last time we went? It was years ago. You were talking about people running around with like bladeless chainsaws and stuff. So we went to Creepy World, and when you were leaving out, there were like, as like one last scare, there were a bunch of guys running around with masks and stuff, and like they had chainsaws and things like that. Well, they're not allowed to touch you.
Right.
However, one of the guys recognized me. It was somebody that Amy and I went to high school with. I don't know if you remember this. And he's a big guy. Like, he's a big, like, intimidating presence. You know what I mean? He's actually a professional wrestler now, which is crazy. Wow. He's like 6'5", broad shouldered.
Physically intimidating, but he seems like a nice guy.
Oh, he is. Long ass hair, big, long, bushy beard, So he recognized me, walks up, pulls his mask up a little bit. He goes, "Mannion," and I was like, "Oh, what's up?" He gives me a hug. So as he does that, he grabs me around the neck like this and starts revving his chainsaw and starts dragging me back into the haunted house. And people walking out were like shitting their pants, losing their mind, because they're like, as far as they know, they're not allowed to touch you.
Right.
So, and me being who I am, I play in and I'm like, help, no, and I mean, this dude's dragging me like my heels are in the dirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, it was just worth it, because I'm looking around at people like, oh my God,
somebody help him.
Right.
Somebody call 911 while I record this on my cell phone.
Right. I don't even know if, there was they probably had like Motorola flip phones back then. I mean, it's been years.
Yeah.
Since we've been.
It's been a lot. Well, it's been over 12 since I've been to a haunted house.
So, but yeah, that was fun. I think that was the same day that guy was. There's like certain parts of like make you stop, and there's like a hayride, and you gotta wait.
Yeah.
The next thing, you know what I'm talking about. And there's like just like a security guard dude standing there, right? Like just normal looking guy. He kind of looked like
Tuttle.
Paul Sr. from American Chopper.
Okay.
And Greg just walks up to him and he's like, "You're the scariest thing I've seen all day." And the guy just looks at him like he wants to hit him. So
that dude wanted to jack me. I was just, because I think I was giving him shit about looking.
Oh yeah,
like American Chopper.
Yeah, like, you're like, where's Mikey?
And when the hayride pulled up and it was our turn, he told the one guy, like, "Look out for this guy."
Keep an eye on this one.
He did, and there was like there was a chick that was like a vampirella type. Walked over and he goes, "Do me a favor, bite him."
Right.
No, it was a good time, man. It was great.
Yeah. So haunted houses.
Yeah.
Trick or treating.
What about are there any things like we talked about watching horror movies, but like as far as fall goes and like Halloween stuff, like does it change any of your? I know you're not like a big movie guy, Greg,
right.
But like I don't know. Do you guys like? Does it change the things you watch and listen to? Like
absolutely, it does. Like I'm more inclined to watching something scary between now and like Christmas, right? Even in November.
Like you said, it gets darker.
It gets darker early. It's usually crappy weather, and that's for me. That's just like a perfect setting to watch a scary movie in.
If I'm gonna watch a scary movie, like Ernest Scared Stupid, now would be the time that I'd watch it. So I'd be like, okay, like
as a kid, like, Ernest Scared Stupid is probably one of my all-time favorite Halloween movies. Yeah.
You know, it's funny because we talked about, you brought up Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
I just saw, Amy just read something that said that the masks in Ernest Scared Stupid, the troll masks, are repurposed clown masks from Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Really?
Okay.
They like the studio like used those masks and painted over them. And like when you look at it, I can see it.
Dude, we should do that. We should like watch those movies like back to back. And
That'd be a good double feature actually for Halloween. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I could see that. I think I would start with Ernest and end with Killer Clowns.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That I might have to suggest that as a double feature.
Double feature. Let's do it.
For I bet the kids would watch that. I might watch those tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
One of the things, so being with Tori, she's real big into like Tim Burton.
Oh yeah.
So one of the things I insist that happens between now and Thanksgiving is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like I feel like that is like the ultimate transition movie from Halloween to Christmas. Right? So I don't watch it before Halloween.
Right.
I watch it after Halloween and before Thanksgiving. So coming up here in the next few weeks, Tori and I are going to watch that.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's a tradition that I just like doing, you know.
One thing I've noticed, like my music will kind of change, and I think around like Halloween, I'm more inclined to listen to more like emo rock. I think it's just like it just kind of gives me that creepy vibe, or like some Sabbath or something, like some old metal. But also like in the fall in general, like I find myself listening to a lot more jazz, and just like some more like calm, like acoustic type music. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Nothing really changes.
There's nothing really changes, especially as music. During the holidays, is when like Halloween, I'll play the more scary music.
Yeah.
The Halloween themed music that I like.
And the one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater.
Yeah, but that one's good all year round.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Shit, man, I don't know. Just hanging out with friends, bonfires.
Yeah.
Bonfires, definitely.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, when that gets kicking off. So
just lifestyle in general, eating habits.
Oh, for sure.
A lot more soups and chilies.
Chilies, yes.
Chili
okay,
season.
yes.
It's chili season.
I was going to mention that.
It's chili season.
Yeah,
definitely
chili
season.
Big pot of chili.
I don't think I've been to a single Halloween party that didn't have a big pot of chili.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you know what? Talking about soups, I really don't eat soups other than like fall and winter.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love a good soup.
Me too. Me too. I'm actually going to stop on the way home tonight after this. You give me a couple cans of soup because, soup and sandwiches sounds
super sandwiches, grilled cheese,
good.
Oh
yeah. Well, guys, I think we're going to end it there. Thanks for tuning into our Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Elon Musk, we just didn't. No. Elon Musk was the last guy we had to cancel on.
We didn't have time for
Travis Kelce. So he was here, but we had to. We had scheduling conflicts, so we told him to also.
We'll have to reschedule.
We'll have to reschedule with them,
right.
But
for a time that's more convenient for us. So
but next week we do have Taylor Swift.
That's right. Okay, so maybe we'll get both of them.
We're at least going to get one side of the story.
Yeah, we need to figure out what's going on with her.
Right.
Because some shit just came down with her. Like there was an article I read, and she like went off on an ex, and she had no right to. So I'm gonna call her out on that.
Okay.
She'll be here. She'll be joining us in the basement. She's passing through. So
yeah,
cool.
We worked it out with her agent and everything. So
nice.
So stay tuned for Taylor Swift next week, and it's also gonna be part of our Jack Black episode that's coming up. So
nice.
You're gonna be covering his movies.
Yep.
You're going to be covering his music,
Yep.
and then I want to be covering his video games.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys, have a very spooky Halloween. Enjoy the episode, and we'll see you next week.
Whoop, whoop.